This is the Angels POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels POSTCAST. Coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game, right here live on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels, and it's brutal. It's brutal. It's brutal. Brutal. My name is Gavin Carlson. If you don't know who I am, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent 4 years covering UCLA sports with the Daily Bruin, now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network. And the Angels stink. The Angels stink again. Oh no, we suck again. You know the meme, right? It's us. It's us. 69-84 now the record after a whole bunch of losing in Milwaukee. It's not surprising, right? And I want to start with this. Well, I always want to start with shout out to everybody here. I'm glad that I can actually at least be home in my normal setup with a good microphone and good lighting and the actual background and an Angels jersey on. And yes, Vinny. I know he's working now. He's not able to do the show, but I've got Vinny's hat. Might as well throw it on. We don't got many more postcasts for this season, so I appreciate all you guys being in here. We have to start with that. But with all that being said, I want to start by saying nobody's asking this Angels team to beat the Brewers. And oh, by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Angels lost again 5-2, the score. They score 6 runs through 3 games, which isn't terrible, but certainly isn't great. I mean, it's pretty bad. And 23 runs given up, right? Nobody expected the Angels to beat the Brewers. One of, if not the best team in baseball. The Angels are one of, if not the worst team in baseball, especially in September as currently constructed. But the problem is we're not even asking for this team to win, and we're still being disappointed by this team. And that's what's truly unbelievable about the Angels is the expectations are in the gutters and they still don't even meet those. And this was looking like a game where maybe we were going to meet those low expectations, certainly when you're winning this game in the late innings, and it absolutely blows up in our face. And the way it blows up in our face makes it a more infuriating loss than it needs to be. And that's the problem. This was a game where the Angels did not really play that well offensively and still were in position to win the ball game and just saw it absolutely vanish. And that's what makes it so frustrating, especially when you consider the context of how ridiculous, how hilarious, how ironic the collapse is when you look at the trade deadline. And I know I haven't talked about the trade deadline in a while, and I know a lot of people are probably glad of that, but this is one of those games. Someone mentioned it in here earlier where they say, Mark T says, at least I'm comforted by the simple fact that at least we are obviously competitive, right? We haven't talked about that in a while because the team has just been so bad, but we're talking about how ironic this all is with the trade deadline. And we'll start with that right now, but not before we get to America's favorite segment because I haven't been able to do it in a while.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
It's the turning point, and it should have been the top of the 5th inning where inexplicably Luis Rengifo comes through in a big way with a 2-run shot to turn a 1-0 deficit, another sleeper game for the Angels where they're doing absolutely nothing, and he turns it into a lead for the Angels that lasted until the late innings, right? It's incredible to say that. I mean, yes, it happens in the top of the 5th and the lead is gone in the bottom of the 6th, so it didn't last that long, but still, the Angels are leading the Brewers in the bottom of the 6th inning. Like, who would have ever predicted that? You got to give Rengifo credit before we get into all the negatives, because I did come in here on yesterday's show and tear into him for being a unique guy on the Angels, right? In the sense that there's a bunch of hobos on this team. No offense to them and no offense to hobos. Maybe that's not even a PC word. I don't even know. But a bunch of random people, right, in this lineup that are playing for their career, but they're also young, so you kind of understand if they're struggling or they're just not big league players. Or you've got veterans that are playing for nothing, right? The only guy that is playing for something while being a veteran, you can make the argument, is Luis Rengifo. Someone might say, well, what about a guy like Chris Taylor? But like, they're so far past veteran where it's like, okay, they might just need to hang it up, right? Luis Rengifo is still at the age where he can contribute, but still as a player, confusing enough to where you don't know if he's a part of this team's future or not. And so that's why I was ripping on him yesterday for the 0 for 4. And that's why I was glad to see him have the 2-run shot. Now, ironically, outside of that, he still does have 3 strikeouts. And still, other than that one swing, was not a good performance from him. But still, it's baseball. It only takes one swing to have a great game. And so Rengifo, with that swing on a 2-1 pitch, he takes a slider that's in the zone, and he hits it pretty well, right? 101 off the bat to make it 2-0. Unfortunately, the Angels did nothing else, but still, they go into the bottom of the 6th inning with a lead, and then that lead vanishes. And this is what makes it all so painfully ironic, is how does it vanish, right? Well, it starts with Jose Fermin coming in and giving up an RBI. That's frustrating because, Yusei Kikuchi actually had a pretty decent start, right? 5 2/3, just 2 earned runs. It did kind of blow up for him in that bottom of the 6th inning where he's eventually pulled from this game, which is a bummer for him. We know it's a guy who's not gotten many wins with the Angels. But yeah, he gives up a 1-out single to Yelich, then a 1-out walk to Andrew Vaughn, gets a pop-up, and then you take him out. And I get it, you're doing the matchup thing, but obviously does not look good when you take out Kikuchi, who should be the winning pitcher. You bring in a bullpen arm, and he immediately gives up the run and blows Kikuchi's win. He has a lot of right to be furious with Ray Montgomery. We all hate Ray Montgomery, but nonetheless, Fermin comes in, gives up the game-tying run, walks Blake Perkins, but then does get out of the inning. The Angels have an opportunity in the top of the 7th. You get a 1-out double from Christian Moore, then a single from Rivero. It's 1st and 3rd for Denzer Guzman, or excuse me, 1st and 2nd for Denzer Guzman, and he strikes out. He's had a brutal series. I think someone just pointed that out. Yes, Chocolatey Cat Soup says Denzer Guzman 1 for 10 with 9 strikeouts in this series. I don't know if that's right, but I trust you on that being correct. He strikes out. Chris Taylor lines out on an unbelievable play by Blake Perkins. Nice little sliding catch in the outfield. But this game was lost in the bottom of the 7th inning. And this is the irony of the Angels, right? We're sitting here. The Super Halo Bros are talking about how much being an Angels fan sucks in September. There's plenty of bad teams, but the Angels are bad and boring. They have no future. They have no exciting players playing right now, especially with Neto out and Shawnuel out and Ohapi sucking, right? You got Christian Moore, and that's about it. But the irony is that's the state of the Angels, despite this being a team that technically bought at the deadline. Like, come on, what are we talking about here? Like, there's so many bad teams that are playing better than the Angels right now with more exciting futures right now than the Angels, and they didn't even try at the deadline. Like, think about it. Like, just look at a team in our division, the A's. We are below the A's. The A's sold Mason Miller at the deadline. They're a terrible baseball team, and yet you would so much rather be an A's fan right now than the Angels. And that's not even countering or considering the fact that they freaking abandoned their fan base. They're playing at a minor league stadium, and they're going to Vegas in a couple years where they're going to have no fans for a while. And yet, you would rather be an A's fan than an Angels fan 11 times out of 10 right now, because the Angels suck, the Angels are boring, the Angels have no future. But to make matters worse, the Angels actually told us that they were competitive this year, that they were trying this year. They bought at the deadline and then proceeded to lay an egg since then. Like, to buy at the deadline and then play significantly worse after the deadline than when you didn't, it's unbelievable. I'm in the Bay Area, right? Giants fans everywhere, of course, and I know I've said it and people criticize me. The Giants are my other team, okay? I'm sorry. I was born in the Bay Area. They hate the Dodgers. The Angels hate the Dodgers. It felt like a natural marriage, right? But when you look at a team like the Giants, they sold at the deadline, and then went on a winning streak. The Diamondbacks, they sold at the deadline, and they've been cooking. The Angels bought at the deadline and have absolutely blanked the bed. The blank has hit the fan with the Angels after they bought. And why this game is the game I'm ranting about it is because who blows the 2-2 tie? Who blows it? Well, none other than one of the guys the Angels bought at the deadline in Luis Garcia. Like, come on. It's September 18th. The Angels haven't won a game in weeks, in ages. They're 15 games below 500. And yet we've still got a pitcher who we bought at the deadline pitching. So surely the people who are like, well, the Angels are only losing because they're not trying, which is technically fair, in the sense that, hey, we're playing a bunch of guys you've never heard of. But this is one of the few guys that, well, he better be trying. We freaking bought him at the deadline. And he absolutely blows up. Absolutely blows up. Jackson Chourio, great player. God, I wish a guy like the Angels could have him. Rips a ground rule double immediately. First pitch sinker, not even a bad pitch. And he rips it. Bryce Terang, what a player. What a player. So many players on this field that are amazing. And the Angels have none of them. Bryce Terang, base hit. To immediately take the lead. Like immediately. Like Garcia comes in 6 pitches, you already are losing. Like, come on. And then he walks Contreras. What a player. Christian Yelich doubles to score him. What a player. Sack fly from Andrew Vaughn. It's 5-2, just like that. Oh, by the way, it's 5-2, and the only out he got in that stretch was the sack fly to make it 5. He gave up 2 runs before recording an out, guys. Like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? And so that's the pain of all pains. The irony of the situation is that Luis Garcia blows this game more than anybody else, and he's the guy we acquired at a trade deadline when our GM said we're obviously really competitive, and since then, we've lost every freaking game we've played since then. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? We're going to take our break. When we come back, we'll look at how the rest of the offense did because, spoiler alert, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. And then I'll tell you what I'm looking for in terms of wins and losses and performances the rest of the way because the Angels have lost a gajillion games in a row and they've only got a few games left. And in these remaining games, this week and a half left of the season, what do we want to see? Is there anything that we would see that would make us not want to, jump off a bridge, as I always say? I'll tell you what I think, at least. After our break here on another losing edition of the Locked On Angels postcast. I will be right back. Now, on this Thursday, another losing Thursday, because every Thursday and every Wednesday and every Tuesday, every day with the Angels is a losing day. But every day is also a great day to have one of the sponsors of this show, 5 Hour Energy, because caffeine just got a flavor upgrade. 5 Hour Energy. Look, I'm a huge caffeine guy. I just got to start with that right away. Absolutely massive one. I literally got called out at work for it, for ripping 2 caffeine shots before the day even began. And what do I consume? I consume 5 Hour Energy because they deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee, plus B vitamins and nutrients, and all with 0 sugar and 0 crashes. And what I love most is how portable they are, right? We all have I have the pre-workout powders, which I love. No offense to, I love them. I have the cans of all the other caffeine companies that I probably shouldn't mention during this ad. And sure, they're all cool. They all taste good, whatever. But man, they got sugar and they're big. What I love about 5 Hour Energy, it's portable. It's big taste in a tiny shot. You can take it anywhere and get that boost when you need it, whether you're driving, whether you're at work, whether you're about to go to an event, whether you're about to go out and you need to stay awake. It's the move. So enough with boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5-Hour Energy shots. Get the favorites you love or be bold and try something new in-store and online at www.5hourenergy.com or on Amazon today. And today's show is also brought to you by Monarch Money. Now, look, most people, they can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. But that's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. It's built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, this is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts in minutes. You can see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. So don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB. Back here live on it. I don't want to be alive. I don't want to be alive. Edition of the Locked On Angels postcast. That's how the Angels make you feel, okay? 69-84 is the record. The Angels have lost every game in a row, is what it feels like. The actual number, 7 in a row. They get swept by the Brewers with a 5-2 loss here, and they lost all four against the Mariners before that. If they didn't win those 2 games against the Brewers, man, I don't even want to know. If they didn't win those 2 games against the Royals, this record in September would be awful. I mean, what is the record in September? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 losses through 18 days. Through 18 days with only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins. 5-12. 5-12 in the month of September. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games left. How many are the Angels going to win? How many are they going to win? We avoided the 100-loss season, but it's starting to look more and more like barely avoiding the 100-loss season. This team is brutal. It's incredible how bad the Angels are, and we all have to suffer through it. But I'm sitting here with an Angels hat on, an Angels jersey on, like the big buffoon I am. Now, let's quickly talk about the lineup and then look forward. We have a great opportunity to win some games against the Rockies. But the question is, have we seen anything to think that convince us that we will do that? Because outside of a few guys, even in this game, which was by far the best offensive game of the series in terms of hits, well, guess what? We still only had 2 runs, and it was still awful. Chris Taylor 0 for 5. Taylor Ward 1 for 4. Mike Trout 2 for 4. Joe Adell 0 for 3. Rengifo, the 2-run shot, but he had 3 strikeouts. Other than that, Oswald Peraza, he stinks. 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Pinch hit for Moncada, he struck out. Christian Moore had a great game. That's the only bright spot outside of the Rengifo swing. 2 for 3 for Moore with the walk and the double. One of his better performances recently. Rivero 1 for 3 and Guzman 0 for 4 with the 3 strikeouts. Was really happy to see Christian Moore with, 2 doubles. Very, very happy to see that. One of his better games, really, since he got called. Well, obviously, since he got called back up, but really one of his better games of the season, if we're being honest. It's been a rough stretch for him. It's been a rough, really, season outside of the beginning. But I'm trying to think, how many 2-hit games have we seen from Christian Moore? There was that one epic game where he had 2 home runs at home against Boston. But outside of that, this is the only multi-hit game since August 12th. Just his 3rd multi-hit game of the season. Obviously, his 4th of the season. Obviously not a ton of at-bats, but you look now through 129 at-bats, 26 hits, 6 home runs, a 202 average, a 300 OBP, a 685 on or OPS. Not great at all, right? But would love to see, we're looking forward to the rest of the season. That's probably the number one thing I want to see, right, is Christian Moore continuing to find some success. He's got 3 games in Colorado. Would love to see him hit a home run or 2. Man, oh man, I would love to see Mike Trout hit a home run or 2. Get to 400. Hit some more home runs, please, in Colorado. There's no better place to do that. And I will be concerned if I don't see a couple guys explode in Colorado, given how bad the Rockies are and given, obviously, Coors Field, the elevation, all of that. If you had to predict between 3 against Colorado, 3 against Kansas City, and 3 against Houston, I think the Angels are getting swept by Houston. I'll be honest. There's no other way to put that. I think they win 1 against the Royals, and I'm going to say they win. I'm going to say they win 2 against Colorado. Call me stupid. But I'm going to say we win 2 against Colorado. That would put us at 3-6 in the last 9. And that's 72 and 72 and I don't know why I'm blanking right now. What would that make us? 72 and 90. Thank you. Can't do simple math right now. 72 and 90 would be the final record, which, oh, by the way, freaking sucks. But you guys tell me in the comments what you think. How many games are left to win? I don't really know what else. 72 and a lot. Exactly, Mark. I don't really know what else you would really want to see other than Christian Moore having a nice stretch and Mike Trout hitting a home run or 2. I guess maybe Ohapi doing something, Denzer Guzman maybe turning things around a little bit. But other than that, there's not much. There really isn't. We're going to wrap this show up. Have a great rest of your Thursday night. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow night. Again, hopefully the Angels can do something. We will see if they can do something. We will be in Colorado. So it'll be let's just see some runs. Like, screw it. Lose 18 to 20, but put up some runs. Like, just put up some runs, please. Please, please, please. Have a great rest of your Thursday night. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Shout out to you guys as loyal as they come. I already know that because you're Angels fans, but loyal to the show as well. Glad to be back in a good setup. I'll be back in it tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and go Angels. Take care.